everybody, it's Jasmine. Now, recently, a lot of you guys have been asking me if I have any Sigma brushes recommendations, and even though I've talked about it literally since the beginning of my channel, I realized I never had like a dedicated video to what I recommend from Sigma. So here it is. Thank you guys so much for recommending it. Now, I also want to say that yes, I am a Sigma affiliate, but I have been using Sigma brushes way before I started my YouTube channel. And it just was a coincidence that they reached out to me and was like, hey, we know you love us and we wanted to tell you that we love you too. So I do have a discount code if you guys want to use it. It's Thats.so.yin at checkout. I have all of the information in the description box below. All right, so I wanted to talk through how I got this look right here. It's a pretty simple look, yes, but I wanted to go in depth with all of these Sigma products that I really do enjoy. Now, to start off my makeup look, I started with my brows, and one of my favorite brow brushes from their website is the E75. This is their angled brow brush. Now, I love this because it is thin, it is small, and there's not a lot of hairs on it, which kind of sounds a little weird to say, but there are a lot of angled brushes on the market that just have way too many brush hairs, and it just makes the eyebrow hair process that I like to do a little harder because it doesn't make the fake brow hairs that I do look natural. So if I'm comparing it to another brow brush that I have, you could see this one is a lot fatter, this one is just a lot smaller, and I just like the convenience of it. This one is a small size with a spoolie on the end because they did have, way back in the day, they had a brow kit with their brow powders and everything like that. I have yet to try their new brow powder, but I wanted to stay away from talking about their old brow powder because that one stays very close to my heart. I really love that one. But yes, the E75 is a great brow brush if you have yet to try it, and it could also be a great eyeliner brush. I don't really do gel liner, so I don't have an opinion on that, but it's really great because it's thin and it's small. Of course, after I do my brows, I love to add concealer to just sharpen up my brow area. Now, to blend out the concealer, I went in with my F64 brush. This is their Soft Blend Concealer. This is one of my favorite brushes because it is a multi-use brush for me. I not only can blend out my concealer, but I could also add powder to my face and use this as a highlighting brush. I have done all three in one whole full face one time, and it just worked out perfectly fine. So if you are looking for something that will be a little bit more worth your money, then this is definitely where it's at. I do find myself reaching for this a lot more, especially when I'm in a rush and I just need an all-in-one product. And this to me as a face brush is a lot shorter, especially in the brush hair department. So it just suits my petite face a lot better than just bigger brushes in general. So if you do have a petite face and you're looking for an all-in-one product, then this is definitely the one to go for. After the brows, I wanted to move on into my eyeshadow. So of course, I had to bring out my Sigma Warm Neutrals Volume 2. This is such a step up from Volume 1. I felt like Volume 1 was a little bit more cool tone, in fact, because there was a lot of purples, the browns were not quite brown, they were more of a taupey gray, and to me, I never felt like it flattered myself personally. Now, when they came out with Volume 2, I said, yes, this is what the crowd wanted. This is what I envisioned Volume 1 would be. And I just remember everyone raving about Volume 1 back in the day. Remember Michelle Phan talking about it? And I remember her showing us the palette, and then Sigma used to have the Sigma imprint diagonally in the eyeshadows. That was so iconic, I remember. So I was really pleased to see that they came out with an actual warm palette. Now, to create my eye look today, I went in first with the E40, which is one of my favorite blending brushes of all time. When I talk about my favorite brush, this is definitely in the top 5 area. I love this because it is fluffy, it never patches my eyeshadows, and it just works so incredibly well. Yes, this is more of a bigger blending brush, but I just find it feathers out my eyeshadows so well. So I love using this for my transition shades, and I also love using this whenever I feel like I apply too much eyeshadow and I need to just blend it out. This is one of those brushes that I go for. I have multiple in my collection because it is a staple, and I've had this brush in particular for maybe 6 years. I want to say 6 or 7, because I was really young when I started using Sigma brushes, and I got it as a gift from my cousins for Christmas, and they knew I was like into makeup, so they wanted to give me some really solid brushes, and I'm really happy they got me this because it changed my life. Now to deepen up the crease, I'm taking my second favorite Sigma brush. Now this is the E35. This is a lot smaller, a lot more narrow, and it's just the perfect size for my crease because I do have small eyes, hence I am Asian. So it really fits in that crease area and it just builds that color beautifully. I feel like it fans out the color and it just makes my eyeshadow process faster and easier. So when I am going somewhere or I know that I just need to just slap on that eyeshadow, these are going to be the two brushes that I am going to go for, because here I'll have my brush that'll blend, that'll just feather out the shadow, and then here I'll have the brush that'll pack on the shadow and that'll blend in and add intensity. So here are the two brushes that I always will recommend, E35 and E40. So these two are a staple always. For the purpose of this look, I decided to not go in with winged eyeliner so I could show you the process of my blend. Now, I then went in with the E39, which is their Buff and Blend brush. I went in with a darker shade to add into my outer corner because I felt like I needed a little bit more spiciness to my look. So I just went in and I patted this shade into my crease, and it just looks so good because sometimes you don't want to blend in a really bold color. Sometimes you just want to pack it on and then blend it out later. And this is what I utilize this for. Do I think you absolutely need this brush? No. I don't. I feel like if you are that person who just wants to continue to add intensity and you know that this is going to be a brush that you will be utilizing, then yes, go for it. I can also see this used as a concealer brush, you know, just packing that concealer on your eyelid wherever necessary or in those tight areas like your nose. But I don't think it's absolutely necessary. Do I love it? Yes. Do I recommend it? Yes. Do I think it's for everyone? No. So I just want to be honest with you guys, but this is just one of those brushes where I feel like is really great for those no wing days and where I just need to add that intensity. Moving on into my lower lash line, I always grab my E32 brush. This is one of my favorite lower lash line brushes because it is like a condensed size of a regular eyeshadow brush. This one is small, a little bit dense, but a little bit fluffy, and it just adds that perfect amount of pigment under the eyes, and it's just so easy to use. It feels good to use it, and I think that this is a brush that you guys need as well. This will be great for the under eye area, inner corner area, outer corner area, just literally wherever you need a small brush, this is it. And it just works so well. I don't have really anything else to say about this other than it's just great for smaller blending areas that you just need, you know, that you just need to get into. If we're gonna talk about the E32's little sister, we're gonna talk about the E20. I was recommended this brush by Soothing Sista on YouTube. I freaking love her. She's like the best. And she talked about how she loved the E20 for her eyebrow powder. Now, I at the time was using solely eyebrow powder, and I said, oh, you know what? I need it. She told me I had to get it. I'm gonna get it. And when I used it for my eyebrows, I did not like it. So instead, I tried to find a different way to use it, and I ended up really liking it on my lower lash line again. I like this one for that added depth factor because you guys know I add my transition shade on my lower lash line, and then I'll go in with the darker color near my natural lashes, and that's where I use this brush, near my natural lashes, just to add a little bit of darkness and a little bit more depth to the look. So this is definitely one that I find, again, multifunctional. If you want to use it for your brows, go ahead. You can use it for your lower lash line, or you can even use this to smudge out your eyeliner as well. This is a really good brush for that. For my inner corner, I'm always going to use a pencil brush. I kid you not, pencil brushes are my absolute favorite. This is another one that I've had for literally like 6 years. This is the E30 brush. I use this for my inner corners. I sometimes use it for my eyebrows. I sometimes use it to blend out my lower lash line. Whatever I just need a small brush for, this is it. I always love pencil brushes because they're just convenient. I have small eyes. What do you want me to do? So it is just really really nice. Do I think that you need to get this Sigma one specifically? No, but it is here on their website, and I do believe that some of these brushes do come in the set. I believe it's like these 3 and then an additional 2. So it's like the E35, this eyeshadow brush that I don't think you need, and then the pencil brush. So they do have a set where, you know, you can get all of that, but I just find that the Sigma one just works really well. I always gravitate towards it for some reason, even though I have like 10 pencil brushes in my collection. For some weird reason, I just like it, so I stick to it. To complete the eye look, I went in with my favorite eyeliner on their website. This is their long wearing eyeliner pencil in the shade Wicked. I talk about this whenever I'm traveling because this is my travel eyeliner. This one will last me hours on end. This will last me through tears, happy or sad, and it just works so incredibly well because it's pigmented. It's actually kind of hard to remove, and it just stays put even if your eyes are watery. So if you do suffer from watery eyes and you want something that'll stay there for sure, definitely check this out. And I know their Wicked pencils or their eyeliners in general just have a really good rep, whether it is their gel liner or their liquid liner. They just have a really good rep for being really pigmented and long wearing. So I highly recommend this one if you're just looking for your solid black kohl liner. After my eyes were completed, I now was like, this is a good time to add my face powder because I ended up forgetting. So I went in with my F35, and this is actually their tapered highlighter brush. I have a petite face, so this doesn't really fit my face as a highlighter brush. But I just went in with my pressed powder and I just set my under eye area, my chin, anywhere else that I needed to really set, and I find that it works. You can also use this for bronzer, blush, if you have a bigger face than me, of course, highlight. Another one that I find very multifunctional, so if you do want a brush that's worth your money, again, get this, worth it, love it, and it's here to stay in my collection. To finish off my face, I went in with the Sculpt palette. Now this is a great contour and highlight palette. Now they did end up releasing this, I feel like a little too late, but I genuinely still really like it because if you are a freelance makeup artist, this is something I feel like would be perfect for your kit because it goes really, really dark and the highlight goes really, really light as well. So you do have a really good shade variety here when you are, you know, working on other people, or you just want to utilize this for yourself. I could totally do a whole entire eye look with this as well. So you do have options with this. So I do believe this is like $39. It's not the cheapest, but it's still pretty. Is it 39 or 29? I don't know, I just remember it ends with a 9. Either way, it's not inexpensive by any means, but it does work and it does blend very well. Now, when I did my contour, I used my F40 brush and I used the shade called Throw Shade in the palette to do my contour. This one is actually a little bit more of a warm tone shade, so I would consider this one more of a bronzer shade as opposed to contour. But I just find that it just applies on the skin beautifully. Whether you're working on a wet base or a powdered base, it always ends up blending out beautifully and it looks so airbrushed on the skin, and I just love that. Now for highlight, I actually went in with the shade called Shine On and the F03 highlighter brush. This is one of my favorite highlighter brushes, but it's not unique by any means. Neither is the F40 brush. Now the highlighter brush that I'm using, Anastasia has one exactly like this. Shot Miss A has one exactly like this. It's not unique, but I do like it, and it's the one that I feel like I gravitate towards even despite having the Shot Miss A one. I still use this one all the time. And then as far as the F40, I didn't even talk about this. This was just your standard contour brush, you know? My sister even has hers from like years ago. Like I'm talking like back when Michelle Phan was talking about it. She has had hers and hers has stayed intact. So I do guarantee you that you are getting quality, and I do know that Sigma does have a 2-year warranty on their brushes, and I believe any of their other like brush kits as well. There's a 2-year warranty, so if something happens, if it breaks within the 2 years, they will replace it for you. So I can guarantee you that, you know, my brushes have lasted me 6 years. For my sister, who how old is she? You know, she's had hers for like forever, and hers has stayed intact. So I really do recommend those brushes. I recommend all of the makeup items that I also used here in this video. And now we can actually talk about the cleaning products. So Sigma actually has this little brush tower here. They have different sizes. This one just so happened to be called the Dry and Shape Spa. So you can detach the top and bottom here like that, and pretty much you are left with the middle cylinder, which is supposed to be your brush mat. So you take off the top 2 tiers, and then you just use this to clean your brushes, and then when you're ready to dry them, you can go ahead and slide them in and you are set. They also have a ring in the middle where you can apply your smaller brushes here as well. So they stick up like this and it dries overnight. Genius. And this is the final product I want to talk about, but it is my used and abused brush mat. She's seen better days for sure, but this one has 7 different textures on here. This one actually has 4 textures, but I like it because I utilize all of them. And as you can see, she's real dirty. You could easily clean it, like just take a makeup wipe and clean it. But you know what? I clean my brushes frequently, so there's really no point in me like constantly cleaning it if this is going to be immersed in soap anyways. So I recommend these 2 products when you are cleaning your brushes. It is a great investment. As far as their brush soaps are concerned, I'm not too fond of their regular liquid or their foam cleanser. I personally like their bar cleanser, but even yet that doesn't really last me through an entire wash if I am washing all my brushes. So keep that in mind. I think the bar is my favorite out of the 3, but I'm not so sure if I would recommend it, especially because it's a little bit on the expensive side and it doesn't really last me a whole round of washing. And just like that, you guys, that wraps up my whole Sigma beauty recommendations list. I hope you guys all enjoy. Again, if you'd like to save some money, feel free to use the code ThatsSoYin at checkout, and that will save you guys some money. So I hope you guys all enjoy this one, and I will see you guys later. Bye! Peace out, Girl Scouts.